Hi, welcome back to the channel. I recently bought from an e-commerce site and assembled this bicycle and realized that it came with a flat tire. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the tube. This guide can be used for any fixed gear bicycles. The most important thing is we make sure that the size is correct. So here you can see 16 times 125, which means that it's a 16-inch tube with a 2.125 width. Next, of course, you need some bike tools to open up the bicycle. I got this from Decathlon, just like where I sourced the tube from. However, some people can make do with just some spanner and screwdriver. And of course, I'm a biker and I like to invest into a bike arm to help me hold the bike as well. So I can just easily clamp the bike onto it and I can lift the bike freely to remove the tires. Next, I'll just use the wrench to remove the nut that is holding onto the bike rack and the training wheels. So let me do the left side first, remove the training wheels, and then let me get to the right side. Next, I proceed to remove the nut that is holding on to the bike bearing wheel hub. So this is a single speed and it's not as easy to remove comparing to those with a quick release. And you can see here that the chain cover is blocking the wheels from coming out. So I just remove these 3 screws that is holding on to the chain protector. Now with the chain protector cover removed, we can now access to the wheel shaft itself. However, the chain is in the way. We can just easily slide it away since it's a single speed chain. However, we can't still get it out because the brake, which is using this hub type of brakes, it's still attached to the bearing itself. So we'll just remove the brake cable and loosening the clamp that's holding the brake hub. And with that, we can now slide it backwards and release the whole shaft from the brake hub. Okay, now we have the wheels removed. The next thing is we just need to deflate the tire if it's not deflated, and we can use this tire removing tool to just help to remove the rubber tires from the rim. Okay, so there's a little hook there where after you remove, you can hook it down to help you hold on to it. Oops, one of it dropped off, but it's okay. After we remove the tires from the rim, you can just use your hands to peel them off. Shouldn't be too hard. And with that, remove the entire wheel from the rim, one side at a time. Alright, and then on the other side, just peel it off as well. And if you needed some help, you can use this tire remover tool. Okay, you can use plastic screwdrivers at the same time, but be careful with metal screwdrivers, it might scratch the rim. Now the entire tire is off. Remove the tire cap so that you can remove the tube totally. Now the tube and the tire is off, you can just proceed to remove the tube from the tires. Okay, this tube has a leak in it, so that's why it's not holding in pressure. Now let's put in our new 16-inch tube. Okay, so before we try to fix it all back together, usually it's a good tip for us to straight away put it in. No, that's what people accidentally do. So what we do is we inflate it a little bit to do 2 things. One is to make sure that the tube is functioning well, and second, with it slightly inflated like this, it's easier for you to then put it into the tire. However, before we do that, just inspect the tire to make sure that there's no nails or anything sharp that will then puncture your new tube. With that, now you can put it right in. However, if you are doing it right now, and then when you try to put both of them into the rims, you will face a lot of difficulties. So the best way for you to do it is you remove the tube first. And with the tube removed, you insert one side of the tire into the rim that will make it very easy for you to slide it in. And once it's done, then we can proceed to put in the tube into the tire before we attach the entire tire into the rim. Alright, but first locate where the tube refilling hole is. Alright, make some way so that you can see the hole through. Now slide the refilling valve of the tube into the hole, and with that we can easily slide the rest of the tube into the tire wall. Alright, so just repeating it all around to have the tube all in. Alright, so once the tube is in, what you do is you try to massage the tire a little bit to make sure that the tube sits properly inside. If not, when you inflate it, it might cause puncture or burst. Now the next part is to make sure that the refilling valve is straight. Okay, if it's bent and not straight, you just need to move them and make sure that it is 90 degrees straight to avoid any issues with it when you refill it. So once it's done, just press on the other side of the wall to make sure that it sits inside the rim. Now we are done. So just make sure one more time that the refilling valve is straight. Massage the tire a little bit more and we can inflate it. So when we inflate it as well, inflate it halfway and proceed to massage the tire again to make sure that the inner tube is sitting well and balanced inside the tire. So once it's all good, just proceed to refill it up all the way to the desired pressure. Usually I'll put it around 35 psi and the tire is now ready. Since we have the wheels off, I can take this opportunity to check on the wheel bearings. Seems like it's a little bit stuck, so I can lubricate it using this bike chain lubricator. So there's a wet type and a dry type. So for bearings, a wet type of wet chain lubricator works very well. So I just drop 1 or 2 drops into the bearings and turn it by hand to make sure that it's applied evenly. I do it one side and seems like it's working very well now. Let's do the other side as well. Okay, 1 drop over here and I turn it around and it's so much smoother. The other drop, and with that, alright, I can feel that the wheel bearings are turning much smoother right now. Okay, so with that we can attach the wheels back into the bicycle. Alright, so just make sure that the brake hub part it's aligned properly. Push the shaft through, and with that I can slide the entire brake hub mechanism in, attach back the chain, and when we are tightening the nuts for it, so just make sure that the chain is tightened as well. Yep, you can do that slowly, left side, right side, and once it's tightened down by hand, okay, make sure that the chain is tight before we wrench it down. Okay, so yes, it can turn properly and the chain is tight. So with that, I will then use the wrench and further tightening up the nut. So finally, we can put back the chain protector. We're just fastening back using the screws that we unscrewed just now. Some bikes comes with it, some bikes doesn't, so it depends on your bike. And then just hand tighten the trainer wheels. Is because we need to lower the bike onto the ground and make sure that the trainer wheels are aligned properly and not too high. Okay, making sure that the 3 wheels are almost touching the ground at the same time, and then we can then tighten it. Don't forget to reattach the brake. So usually I just make sure that it is braked tightly, and then I tighten the nut so that when you release it, it will then give a little bit of a free play to the wheel. With that, we are done. So if you'd like to see other types of fixes and repairs, do comment in the comment box below. Subscribe and like our video to have more. Thank you and see you next time.